and kind of seeing what progress has been made and things like that. But we had a good night last night. Kathy decided she'd come with me, and so had a good drive down here and everything. Fortunately, the weather's cooperating, and just look forward to the rest of the day here.
Good deal. We're just waiting on Commissioner Jarrett, and we'll get started here.
Okay.
Just grabbed everything.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. All right, it's 9:30. We will call the agenda session for the Missouri Public Service Commission for Thursday, January 3rd, 2013 to order. Happy New Year, everybody. This is the first agenda session of 2013. Let's begin with the minutes from December 27th, 2012. Any questions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none. All those in favor of approving the minutes from Wednesday, December 27th, 2012, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those minutes are approved. We'll jump to the closed minutes from December 19th, 2012. They've been circulated. Any questions or comments on the closed minutes? Hearing none. All those in favor of approving the closed minutes from December 19th, 2012, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those minutes are approved. I want to start out, we got a very nice, we got a copy of a very nice thank you note from the Moldovan Agency for Energy Regulation, ANRE, thanking us for the partnership that we've had. So it's this went to NARUC. It was also copied to USAID and us. So it's a very nice note from Victor Parlikov. And we also was thanking Jarglin, who has worked with us and will continue to work for us, even though she has moved back to Mongolia with her husband. She's going to work with NARUC on a contract basis, and continue to run the Moldovan program. So we're very happy about that, and I just thought we would share. And again, it's a continuing of what I think USAID and NARUC think is one of the model partnerships through this program. So congratulate everybody on that. All right, we'll move to tariff and new orders. Syntex Wireless, order regarding stipulation and agreement, RC 2012-0421. Are there any, is that Judge Jones showing up?
Yes, sir.
All right, we're on tariff and new orders. Questions and comments on Syntex, Commissioner Jarrett.
I support the order. I had some concerns, I think, and we all had some concerns going into the on the record, but it seems that the company has addressed those concerns in their revised stipulation and agreement. So I am comfortable that our staff now has the tools to watch them closely to make sure that they abide by what they say they will do and follow the law and follow our rules. So I support the order.
Commissioner Kenny.
No questions or comments. I support the order.
Commissioner Stoll.
I have no additional comments.
I hadn't really decided what I was going to do up until this morning. I think that the stipulation and agreement is better, much better than it was. I think there are more protections in it, and I think that, I have a feeling that this company is going to be watched pretty closely from here on out. And I think that the new stipulation and agreement gives them much less wiggle room, and the protections are much better in it. So I will support the order with reservations, but we'll support the order. So, all right. So all those in favor of the order regarding stipulation and agreement in file number RC 2012-0421, please signify by saying aye.
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 That order is approved. Tariff and new orders. ER 2013-0341, KCP&L Greater Missouri Operations Company. It's also ER 2012-0175, order regarding application for waiver and variance. This is regarding for St. Joseph landfill gas facility. Questions or comments, Commissioner Jarrett?
I'm fine with the order.
Commissioner Kennedy?
I have one question. There's a reference, and maybe somebody can answer it. There's a reference on page 2 of the order that GMO agrees that in the future will work with staff and other interested parties to resolve the issues surrounding the landfill gas. So the distinction between whether it should flow to the FEC or be recovered through the RES mechanism, is there any discussion of when in the future that will happen? Does anybody know, like, is there a timeline specified by which a resolution will be achieved with respect to how to handle the gas costs?
I don't recall that being addressed in the pleadings, Commissioner. No time frame mentioned.
All right. Nobody from staff can answer the question more particularly, perhaps?
I think what we discussed was just prior to the next rate case.
Okay. So there's at least some, it's going to stay on the radar screen. It'll get resolved and worked out in the context of the next rate case. Okay. All right. That's all the question.
And they'll make a filing before the next rate case, but it will be an issue. It may be an issue in the next rate case if they don't order the filing is there.
Right, we'll continue to address it, but it may be an issue.
Commissioner Stoll, anything?
I have nothing to add.
All right.
I do support the case, the
All right.
order.
All right. All those in favor of the order granting waiver and file number ER 2013-0341 and 2012-0175, please signify by saying aye.
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 That order is approved. All right. This is going to be probably a split vote. So, tariff and new orders ER 2012-0166, Union Electric Company order denying applications for rehearing and reconsideration. All right, Commissioner Jarrett, any questions or comments?
I don't have any questions or comments. I'm fine
Commissioner
with the
Kennedy.
order.
So I just want to
I don't know
clarify.
how you do that, frankly, but what I wrote there.
Well, why don't we just? So you would be in favor of?
I would grant the rehearing as to numbers 1 through 5 and deny it as to paragraph 6.
All right. So you would deny. You would be in favor of the order as to Ameren and opposed to the order as to the other parties. Which means you would grant rehearing and reconsideration to the other parties.
Yes.
All right. We haven't split this out, so I would assume just because there's that many folks, you would just vote no on the entire order.
Yeah, I guess there's no way for me to concur in part and dissent in part. I mean, I don't know what the practical effect of doing that is anyway.
I don't
frankly.
think there's probably any
Right.
practical
So it's just
effect,
me
but you
making
could
a
do
statement.
a 3-line dissent or a paragraph dissent doing that, or we can just do it.
And I may just incorporate it with the dissent that I'm going to file in the main rate case anyway. So I'll just vote no in the order.
Okay. All right. Commissioner Stoll, any questions or comments?
No questions or comments. I'm fine with the order.
All right. And I support the order as well. All right. All those in favor of the order denying application for rehearing and reconsideration of file number ER 2012-0166, please signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed?
No.
That order is approved 3-1. Tariff and new orders. EA 2013-0316. This is order granting certificate of convenience and necessity. I requested that there be some amendments to the original order. I don't know if other folks have.
Just highlight it.
It's the highlighted language, and essentially the previous order found that there was no good cause for late intervention, and I revised that slightly to say that because this was filed. This was a quick one. This was filed on November 28th. It was kind of the beginning of December. They filed late intervention, which was only a month after the application. and said that they were late because they had an inability to contact legal counsel, which I think was good cause for late intervention, but ultimately their reason for intervening was to affect the terms and conditions of its members' employments, which we by statute don't have the ability to do. So while I think they had good cause, I think the intervention, we don't have the authority to do it, so the intervention reason isn't sufficient to allow intervention. So that's what the amended language did. So let me just go around and see if anybody has an issue with the amended language.
No, I'm fine with it.
Commissioner Stoll, any issue?
No, I don't. I appreciated the additional language to kind of clarify the reasoning, though. I like that.
Let me ask a question though. Does it? I mean, assuming that they assert this same interest in every rate case that they, are there any implications for future cases in which the union asserts that its reason for intervening in any rate case is to protect the terms and conditions of its members' employment?
I think that the other rate cases, their reasons are more general than the terms and conditions of them.
It depends on the specific reasoning they offer in their application. This particular case is specific to this fact pattern, though, which involved a certificate for approval of just 885 feet of transmission line.
And the reason why they have to get a CCN is because it crosses slightly for under 1,000 feet
Right.
of Kansas City Power and Light service territory.
Correct.
Because other than that, they would. The rest of the 12,000 or 11,000 feet are in the service territory, so they wouldn't need to apply for that.
That's correct. I think this is a fact-specific determination in yours.
Well, and I think that second to last sentence in the highlighted paragraph, I think, limits it to these specific circumstances. So
Right.
I'm comfortable.
All right. So all those in favor of the order granting certificate of convenience and necessity in EA 2013-0316, please signify by saying aye.
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 That order is approved. All right, I'm going to call these two up together. WX 2013-0267, order granting petition for promulgation of a rule to establish an environmental cost adjustment mechanism for water utilities, and WW 2013-0347, order opening a working case to assist in the drafting of a rule to implement an environmental cost adjustment mechanism for the water industry. There's a statute out there that requires us to respond in writing within 60 days of filing a petition for a rule such as been proposed by Missouri American Water. What the initial order does was grant their petition for a rulemaking, but then open up a working docket in order to start the process that we typically do when we're doing a rulemaking. What I have asked the judge to do some amending, and what this does actually is the statute actually puts some requirements on us once we follow the statute. So what I have asked him to do is actually deny the petition because the company came with specific language in the rule. So they've requested that a specific rule be adopted. And a lot of this is procedural. I don't think it's substantive. Right. What it does is it would deny the petition rather than granting it, but also in the separate order open up a workshop, which I agree that we probably want to, and the deadlines and the dates are fine for me, but I would rather give ourselves the maximum amount of flexibility in dealing with the rule. And I think the denial of the petition actually allows us to start this informal process and kind of, because this is, no other electric utility has filed for an ECRM. Correct? Am I correct on that? Or they
haven't used them.
They don't use it.
They exist in the current rules.
And we haven't had a water company file, have we?
We have not.
So I would rather, since this is the first time we're doing it for a water company, I'd rather do it right. We can do it quickly and we can take a look at it. Staff's recommended that we move forward with it. I think staff thinks that under the statute they are entitled to use one. So that's why I think the result is ultimately the same, that we're going to open up a workshop and go through our informal process to try to get it right and try to do it. But I think that if we actually deny the petition, that we respond to them, because we have to respond to them early next week, based on the statute, but it gives us the flexibility to do and does essentially what we've asked it to do, which is open up the workshop on that. So that's my preferred route, but I'll throw that open. I know I just kind of sprang that on people this morning, and I apologize for that. But I wanted to get people's thoughts on that. So, Commissioner Jarrett.
No, I agree with you, Mr. Chairman. I think procedurally that's the cleanest way to do it. That statute is fairly new. Some of the language in there may be open to different interpretation. So I think by denying this, it sort of takes all of that away. We don't have to worry about that. I know Missouri American indicated they were willing to go ahead with the workshop process, so denying it doesn't cause them any heartburn as long as we proceed, in a manner that's speedily, which it appears we're doing. So I think your approach is the best. So yeah, I'm for the amendment.
And just to clarify, I don't change the dates do not change under which we would order them to have this done. So we would be under exactly the same schedule as we were previously.
Right.
Commissioner Kelly.
I agree with everything that both you and Commissioner Jarrett just said.
Commissioner Stoll.
No problem. I appreciate the explanation and the discussion.
All right, so I will take these separately, but we will do the. I'll call it the order denying petition for promulgation of a rule to establish an environmental cost adjustment mechanism for water utilities as amended in file number WX 2013-0261. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 All right, so that is approved as amended. And then the working case is amended to just slightly to reflect the previous order. So all those in favor of the order opening a working case to assist in the drafting of a rule to implement an environmental cost adjustment mechanism for the water industry in file number WW 2013-0347 as amended, please signify by saying aye.
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 All right, that order is approved as amended. All right, Judge, thank you for doing that as quickly as you did. I appreciate it. I will venture to, if I have changes, to get it to people a little bit earlier than a couple hours before agenda. All right, we will move on to case discussion. Item number SR 2012-0399, House Springs Sewer Company. We have a local public hearing on Monday night. Is that correct?
That's correct.
There is an agreement from the company and staff. Is that correct?
Right.
But there is concern with local council, so they've requested a local public hearing.
Correct.
All right. So it's House Springs Elementary School, January 7th, beginning at 5:30.
That's what time the question and answer session begins.
How many customers does House Springs have? You know?
Somebody in the room may know. Don't know offhand.
It's around 1,000 customers.
Around 1,000? Okay. All right. Great. All right. We'll try to get coverage for that.
I will be attending that one.
Okay. All right. And
Then I'll come to Jeff City the next morning then.
all right. And I may be there as well.
I may go too. Let's make it.
What the heck? Why not? Well, it's
Party.
lovely. House Springs is lovely this time of year, right? Commissioner Stoll?
It is. It's balmy this time of year.
All right, and I don't think there are any weather issues predicted for Monday, so we should be fine. All right, so the question and answer
Yeah.
starts at 5:30, so we'll be shooting probably around 6 or 6:15 to start the actual on the record portion. So,
Right.
all right, January 7th. That's Monday at 5:30. Question and answer. All right. Let's actually go to the transmission training first before we get into Kansas City Power and Light. This is a IFB for training using ARRA funds
Right,
for in-house transmission training.
right.
which I think is a great idea. But
And as you may recall, we had training earlier, well, now last year, in 2012, and so this would be building upon that. I've asked not only the commissioners and advisors, but various staff members that work on transmission issues, what they would like to see addressed, and so this is on page 4 of the IFB 5, that's a compilation of the various items that people expressed an interest in. And so I can add, change, if you have anything else you want me to put in there. But I'm requesting permission to go ahead and release the IFB.
there's a lot of stuff in here, which I like because it covers a lot of ground. But Commissioner Jarrett, any additions or subtractions?
No, I'm fine with moving forward.
Yeah. No, I think this is a great idea. Who's it going to go out to?
EUCI, IPU,
NRI.
his name? NRRI. I lost his name. He used to work for NRRI.
Oh, Scott Hemplin.
Hemplin.
Yeah. And then if there's other people that anybody recommends. There were some issues with that.
Okay. All right. Okay. We'll deal with it. I particularly like 1.4.5, which is self-graded quizzes or final tests. So there will actually be a test on the material.
Didn't want to make it too stringent.
Very
but-
important. Very important. All right. Commissioner Stoll, any questions or additions or subtractions?
No, I think it's a very good idea, and I look forward to attending.
And right now we have it scheduled the second week of May, right? May
Right,
14th
uh-huh.
and 16th, those are the dates. They obviously may switch if we run into issues with other things. But, all right, all those in favor of moving forward with the IFB, please signify by saying aye.
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 All right.
Okay,
Great,
thank you.
thanks, Natal.
Thank you.
I think it'll be good. All right, let's move on to Judge Jordan. Why don't you come on up? So, you sent out some language, and I will ask folks to get you their changes separately. I don't think we need to go through line for line on some of the language that you circulated, unless folks want to talk about it. We essentially have one issue that we didn't have 3 votes for, or people were asking for more information. This is the crossroads specific transmission issues. There is opinion by several people that the law does not allow them to be recovered. Those are most everybody except for the company, and we just need to figure out where we are on that issue, so we can right. Because do you think that if we can get through some of this stuff, we can vote? We will be able to have a final order by next week. To vote out.
That would be challenging, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Following week.
But the
Oh,
following.
certainly. Oh, certainly. The schedule as projected now, the operation of the law date is the 26th of January. And you have 2 agenda sessions before them, one on the 9th and one on the 15th.
Right.
And we had contemplated the 15th, of course, would be the latest that you would want to vote out a report in order. But now, if I understand, you're wanting a report in order to vote out on...
Well, I didn't know how far along we were. I didn't. If we have all the issues, I didn't know whether there was enough time to.
Making good progress. My advice is that, we want to produce the best order that we can, and that will be favored by more time than by less time.
All right. We'll just see how it goes. So, all right. So let's. Anybody want to start?
I can.
Okay.
We're
go ahead.
talking about
We're talking about
this narrow
18
issue, yeah.
This is issue 18, which is what transmission costs for energy from Crossroads should be included in the revenue requirement.
Yeah, I was probably one of the ones that asked for additional time to review the case law.
Right.
And I'm comfortable that Dogwood's position is accurate. And this is what my initial inclination last week was, or 2 weeks ago rather, was that we wouldn't be disturbing a FERC set rate in violation of the filed rate doctrine or the supremacy clause, because we're not altering or changing or modifying the rate. We would be denying as imprudent those expenses, which is distinct from tinkering with or tampering with or modifying a FERC set rate. And I think it's consistent with what we did in the last rate case as well. I have verified that, in my opinion, that Dogwood's correct on the law. That's the position to take. Mr. Jarrett.
I don't have any real strong feelings either way. I know the record reflected that they did buy the power at a price that was competitive. And it seems to me that if the purchase of the power is prudent, then there has to be some way to get the power to Missouri. So I don't think it's necessarily imprudent unless you can show that the cost of both the purchase of the power and the transmission costs are more than if they would have bought it closer to their load. And I guess I would lean toward the company's position, but again, I know in the past we haven't, so it's not a deal breaker for me, I guess is what I'm saying.
These are all complex issues, so I understand. Commissioner Stoll, any?
I do appreciate Commissioner Jarrett's comments. I thought, well, somewhat the same thing as far as what if they were purchasing the power and if from a source that was much closer to their, to the people that they serve. But on the other hand, I don't think that we should charge Missouri consumers for these transmission costs. And I guess to make a long story short, I am in favor of not including those transmission costs in the revenue, in the revenue requirement. Yeah, I'm just kind of reading over this right now. But so my position would be 0 on that.
A couple things. No, anything else? I'm sorry.
That makes sense?
Yep, absolutely.
Good. Okay.
A couple things. One, I agree with Commissioner Kenny's reading of the law. I think it's correct. And I also agree with his position that it's consistent with what we did in the last rate case. And I think Crossroads is a difficult issue to deal with because of how it was obtained and how it's being used. And I have great sympathy for them, but I think that the law that the other folks are right on the law, and I think it's consistent with what we've done in the past. So I think that's the best way we should go. So I would go with Dogwood's position or staff's position, however we want to categorize it. Now the only other issue is to we have this rate design, which is a stipulation and agreement, or it's a joint statement because there are people that object to it.
Correct.
So it's a joint statement, and this is what the increase in it's a straight 1% in proportional increase in.
It's 1% for residential ratepayers as an increase, and corresponding decrease for everyone else who is not lighting, for the non-lighting people. OPC objects to that. My understanding of the Commission's position last time, which I wasn't sure on, and that's why I'm checking in on this, is that the Commission favored OPC's position.
So because the rate design by everybody else says that the residents are going to bear 1% higher burden of this rate increase than everybody else, and everybody else is going to see. And I don't know the logic in that, but they're already bearing a much larger percentage of the increase anyway. But I'll go around and see if anybody disagrees with that. Commissioner Jarrett?
I'm fine with that.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Fine with
OPC's
position was to stay where we
Yeah,
are.
yeah, stay where we are.
And that's where I was last.
Right.
Yes, no, that's where I am.
Commissioner
Yeah.
Stoll?
I'm fine with that also.
All right. And then the rest of this is just to see if anybody had any issues with where the memo lays out the direction or where we were. I think we had 3 for just about everything. So the question is whether deal breakers or not. We'll go to Commissioner.
Well, I throw this out for consideration because I know I was on the other side of this, but this is a number 4 capital structure, and I think the other 3 commissioners, if I'm remembering correctly, were to go to a hypothetical 50-50 on that, and I just wanted to ask maybe for to folks to take another look at that. You know, we have never used a hypothetical capital structure before. We've always used the actual capital structure. So it'd be a major departure from what we've done in the past. And I'm not for looking at new ways to do things, but normally when we do that, we've done things in the past such as we've got different workshops looking at different rate designs and things like that. This might, if we wanted to do something like this in the future, that might be the way to do it. My understanding is that the general rule is short-term debt is not considered in capital structure unless it is used to purchase fixed assets. And that's not what is going on here. It's being used as a refinancing, as a bridge basically until some long-term financing can be completed. And I understand the argument that it's possible that after all of this refinancing, you might get closer to a 50-50. But I think that's more speculation than fact. I didn't see any calculations in the record that once all of this is refinanced, that there's actual numbers that show that it would be 50-50. So in my mind, the 50-50 is just kind of plucked out of the air rather than supported by actual numbers in the record. And then 5248 basically is what their actual capital structure is. To me, that's not so far outside the bounds of reasonableness that we should reconsider our longstanding practice of using actual capital structure versus a hypothetical. I know debt is cheap now, but debt is also riskier than equity. And I think for those many reasons, I would ask the other commissioners that are considering the hypothetical to at least take another look maybe at the actual capital structure.
Incredibly fair point.
So, I actually commented at the last time we discussed this that my default position would be to adopt the actual capital structure, and it was, but I was persuaded by the arguments that actual capital structure wasn't actual in this case because it didn't account for the short-term debt that was going to be refinanced. But you make a compelling point, so I'm willing to take another look at it.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Stoll?
Well, I was one of those who is for the 50-50 theoretical structure, but I'm not so certain right now. I had a little hard time understanding Commissioner Kenny's response. Do you think we should look at that? Or again, would you restate your position?
No, I said that my normal position, and I stated this when we discussed this in the first round, would be a preference for the actual capital structure, but reading the briefs and recalling the testimony, the actual capital structure wasn't actual because it had been I don't want to say manipulated, but it didn't reflect the actual capital structure because there was short-term debt that was going to be refinanced back into long-term debt.
Yes.
But my default position is that actual capital structure is preferable. And so, given Commissioner Jarrett's arguments, I'm willing to take another look at it. I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to change my position, but I'm at least willing to study it further.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. I mean, I would feel comfortable doing that. And I agree with your comments. In the testimony, it did discuss and look forward to a change in the capital structure. I guess not too long after this case is concluded, and I wasn't exactly sure what approach to take on that, to use the theoretical or the future structure. So yeah, let me take another look at that too and have some discussion.
I think we absolutely should take another look at it. I think it's a good argument, and I think that we do show a preference for actual capital structure. We have shown that, and I think that makes sense. And I will also go back and see whether, I mean, it's a trade-off, and I think you've made a good argument about what that short-term debt is being used for, and that it is the danger isn't as high with what they're talking about. With what the concern was, which was why you go to the hypothetical structure. So we'll take a look, and if we just give Judge Jordan direction on that, so he can
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I think it's a good point. All right, let's move the schedule. All right, so you have your direction on almost everything, and then we'll just we'll get our thoughts to you on the capital structure.
Yes.
Individually.
Yes, sir.
Or next week, but we'll let you get to write. Let's go to scheduling. So we've got the 9th. I think we're scheduled at 9:30. Obviously, if that changes, let me know. The 14th is Inauguration Day, and Cole County State offices are closed, which includes this office, as it is in Cole County. The 16th is agenda. That's unless we can do it earlier, that'll be when we're voting out. We'll vote out the Kansas City Power and Light Order. I'm at an ice pick meeting, so I'll be calling in that day and for the folks. But I think that 9:30 time will be. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. Well, I leave on that day, so I may be videoing in from St. Louis, probably then calling. Then the 23rd.
I have a favor to ask y'all. But the state, and you may all be interested in this as well, the State of the Judiciary addresses that day at 10 a.m.
The 16th?
The 23rd.
Oh, the 23rd.
If we could maybe move agenda up a little bit so that we could complete our tasks in time for folks to attend that if they're so inclined.
That, I think, is an easy thing to do. So we'll plan on that being at 9. And if we have to move it up to 8:30 based on the volume of stuff that we have, we'll look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
I'd be fine with that.
There's an state oil and gas council meeting in Rolla, but I've got somebody to go. Somebody's going to have to do that up there. Be careful. Karma's there.
Something else in it.
The 30th, we are at 9:30. And then the following week of the 2nd, I guess it would be the week of the 4th, is NARUC. So we may cancel or move, depending. I have to stay for the interconnection. They're doing a 3 Eyes meeting, the 3 Interconnects meeting, which is under the guise of the National Electricity Forum, but they can't use that name now because of GSA's parties for some reason doesn't allow us to use the name. I don't know. It's a weird federal government rule. But I'm have to be there on Thursday for the last panel course. So if we move it, we'll probably move it to Friday the 8th. But hopefully we'll be able to cancel that and get it through.
Good.
All right. Well, as always, if people have any changes or need accommodations, just let me know, and we'll do our best to get everybody handled. Perfect.
Thanks,
All
everybody.
right, nothing
Thanks,
else.
guys.
Sounds
We will
good.
stand adjourned.
Thanks, Commissioner
Thanks,
Stoll.
Commissioner Stoll.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year to you too.